Okay, dude, we did it. Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Line of Code. I am One Line. Happy Friday to you. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day today. I was, and then I had a call, and now I am not. Actually, I was having an interesting day, but I'll get to that later. Today is Community Day here on our stream, which is a day that we invite people into our Discord to have some verbal conversations. But before that, I have something that I really, really want to try real quick. Here's my email. Hello, email. Here is all of my stuff that I forgot to move off of this screen before starting because flustered mustard. But it's a good thing though, because this learning protocols project is the one that I want to have on the screen at the moment. I posted in Discord a request for help on custom protocols. So a custom protocol, if you don't know what that is a way for you to be able to launch your app by using something that looks like a URL. In fact, it's a URI. So, for example, I have here an app that is called Learn Custom Protocols WPF. Hello, Napalm. I also have a console version of this app. And the only thing that this app does is it registers and unregisters your app as a custom protocol. So to do that, I ask for input, you push a button that says register the custom protocol, and then you can use start : / whatever that custom protocol is. So if I'm down here, then I could do start my custom protocol / and then it'll bring up, you can't see this because it opens on the wrong screen, but if I do a print screen, maybe you can see it. And hello, I already said hello, Napalm. Hello again, Napalm. You deserve to be told, said hello to multiple times. What did we take a screenshot of? My entire everything? Okay. Why did it change? Oh my gosh, what just happened? Why did you change what I was looking at? Take me back. Is it this one? I hope it was this one. That is not it. That is my OBS. Why are you showing me a screenshot of my OBS? It's not the last thing. All right, let me try this again. Print screen. Okay. Now it took a screenshot of just the thing that I wanted to take a screenshot of, because this time I held down the Alt key. Apps. So you get this kind of pop-up that says you're trying to open a link that's using the My Custom Console Protocol protocol. And here is the app that says it's registered for it. So if I push just once, nothing happens. It does not launch the app. If I unregister, so this is what the app should look like, by the way. Which I should have done it in my developer PowerShell. I want to unregister, and it says I failed to unregister, even though it mostly unregistered. But it says I failed to unregister. You indeed are third. So if I now try to run the app using the custom protocol, then the thing that I get is this that says there is nothing associated with that protocol. Try to find an app to open it. So you know that it's unregistered. You know that there's no executable that is registered for it. So the registration step does happen correctly, but it's not launching the app. And I'm expecting it to just launch the app even without prompting to launch the app. And I don't know why it isn't. So I got most of my example from my work product, where we have this class called Custom Protocol. I reworked it quite a bit and made it my own because the implementation was really weird. So anyway, you create a new custom protocol object, sending it what name you want to use for the protocol. if you have the manual executable path that you want to execute from this protocol, and then if you specify that, it ignores the next one. But if you if for some reason it has .vshost as its extension, or contains it at all, not even ends with, it's contains. Again, I got this from the work product and I don't really know what would cause this to happen. And you haven't manually specified an executable, then you can specify which executable to use only if it doesn't if it has VS host in it. If you don't specify that, then it just uses give me the name of the executing file, which is usually a DLL. So I don't know how it works if that happens, but it's a thing that I did. So anyway, the actual register process writes to your registry. It says, here is my custom protocol. This is what it should look like. And I looked to verify that the registry entry is getting created, that it looks like the registry stuff that happens with my work product, but it doesn't. So instead of just being only the protocol under HKey classes root, it has HKey classes root, the protocol, the just some other stuff inside of it. Command, friendly type name. I don't know what else it has in it, but it's weird. It doesn't look the same as what we're using for our main application. So I talked with my team member that I thought was the one that worked on the protocol. And I talked with my project manager after finding out that my team member really didn't know how it worked and he just kind of deferred to the project manager. So I was just on the phone with him and he's like, well, the way that we do it is this whole time, by the way, I've been working on a WP app that has a Blazor web view control, that all of my work is either in the WPF app or inside of the shared libraries that have to do with the Blazor component library and any other shared services or just external services. And he's like, well, when we pack our app, we pack it as a UWP app. And so I'm asking these probing questions. Like I had so many questions about that, but I'm asking all of these probing questions that have to do with how is the protocol set up so that when I type my custom protocol : / it launches my application. And he's like, well, you should be creating your POC as a UWP, even though our primary app is a WPF app, and that's where I'm going to be actually implementing this. I'm like, okay. So he's like, this is how you set up a UWP app. And I'm like, thank you for teaching me how to use Visual Studio. I know how to set up a UWP app. Oh, actually, I want to put this in my apps folder. New project. Okay. This was learn custom protocols.uwp. I have no idea. I'll target Windows. I'm hoping that's the one that I currently am using. And when you get there, open up package.apex.manifest and you go to, and he had no clue where to go in here, which I don't blame him. It's not something you see very often. But then he had me open it up in text field so that I could see the XML and then copy and paste from our app. And then we eventually landed on here. And it's like, hey, you know what? It's probably in here. So anyway, you add a custom protocol through declarations. You tell it that you want the display name to be whatever your display name is, which I just want to copy paste because I came up with a name before and I don't want to have to remember program.cs. I have to refresh my browser, I think, says Mojo. And you know what? I think the other thing that I just learned is that these have to be all lowercase. That could be one of my issues. So I'm going to try that out as well. And actually, I'm going to do that now. So let's cd into the console one. .NET run. .NET hide. .NET duck and cover. We want to register. And so now it says that I should be able to use this. Oh no. It still gave me the prompt to select an app to open that link with. So that's still performing the same. All right. So let us unregister it again. And then quit. And the WPF app, it does the exact same thing, by the way. Set as startup, except it has a UI and everything for you to push the buttons. So here's the WPF app. I push the register button. It does the register logic. It says, I successfully registered. You can use this. And then I try it, and then it also does the same thing. And then I hit unregister, and it says, it failed partially. So anyway, that part's done. Let's go back to this thingy. So I was trying to find the friendly name, which I'm not currently passing in as an argument, so it's hard coded, which is kind of annoying. That's okay. Where am I? I'm here. So friendly name. Youth. Actually, I can make that all caps. What is name? Oh, this is the actual protocol. And the reason that we found out that it might need to be lowercase is for this reason. My custom, let's say that I put capital UWP, then it says this is not a valid name. You're gonna have to use a valid name. So we're like, all right, maybe it needs to be a lowercase, and then it's good. Like I need to be lowercase. And then there's all of this information here. I'm going to check to see what it shows. Yeah, so all of that is just left blank. These are the only two fields that were filled in when we copy and pasted from our other app. So that's it. So I save that, and let me show you my registry, because that's safe. I have no idea if there is anything negative that could happen if I show you my registry. Okay, HKey classes root. There is supposed to be an entry in HKey classes root directly that will, these will start with my, that will be added. Okay, so that will be added. Whoops, there goes your password in plain text. When you register. So to show an example of that, let's do the console one again. Register. And so there should now be a key that's called, or a subkey, that's called my console prot. And if I refresh, how do you refresh? Oh, jeez. I'm not even getting a notification. Dang, that took a long time. So it was Apocalypse, but good grief, that took forever to show up. Hi. Anyway, you can see that the custom protocol is registered. If you expand it, you have the friendly name. If you expand this, then you have the path to the executable. And then any extra parameters that you have off of the, and hello, Mila. Oh my goodness, all of the amazing cool peoples are here today. So this is saying that when you use the URL my console prot, it should launch this executable. And as a matter of fact, FAQ, that is, if we went and directly launch that from, oops, oh my goodness, from a command line, then we would see that we get the string output. Then we would see the app run. Is that what it is? I'm assuming that the quotation marks don't break this, but just in case, I'm going to get rid of the quotation marks. But the app ran if I run the command that using the custom protocol is supposed to run. No, it did not. Okay, so removing the quotation marks only serves to break it if there are spaces in, for example, your username or the path to the executable. So anyway, it creates it. However, watch what happens if we launch the UWP app. So we should get a new subkey called mycustUWP-prot. Debug. Start. Of course, because no one is very sure what the is going to happen if you start messing with keys. Yeah. And good question, Dukasoft. That was something that came to mind. So I was like, in the good old days, if you did anything on your computer, especially if it had to do with the registry, you needed a restart in order for it to work. So I have tried a restart and it still gives me the same behavior. Okay, so as you can see, the UWP app ran and we have the setting for, actually, it just registers the protocol. So if I refresh again, then we will see the mycustUWP protocol right here. Look, it is very different from the one above it. And you're like, no, it's not. This one says space protocol at the end. This one does not have space protocol at the end. This one has subkeys in it as well. This one does not have subkeys. And if I try to compare this throughout the entire registry, oh, I guess that's what I could do. I could just find out what all keys are created by the UWP app. Huh. And, ooh, octa elliptical. Like eight-wheeled. Eight-wheeler. Anyway, octa elliptical, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Today is community day, but I am kind of sabotaging it by talking about this thing that I'm trying to figure out for my POC so that I can just get it done. And this is like not even a big part of the POC. It just happens to be that our application is able to be executed. What's the word? Google says this name has no meaning. There's no name like this. Awesome. Unique name. Also, are you familiar with C++? I have a passing familiarity. So I've used C++ in university. I've never had to use it for real projects or since. I have used it a little bit for a mod, although I think that was regular C, for a mod on Black Ops that I was helping someone with. They were doing their own nuclear fallout mod, which was pretty fun, but not something I really enjoyed doing. But .NET, definitely. I've been doing .NET since 2000. Well, I guess not .NET. I've been doing ASP since about 2009, ASP.NET since about 2014. And then before then, VB.NET, or sorry, VB6, regular VB WinForms stuff. Ooh, I found it. Interesting. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. So this is what it looks like when you have a Windows Store app installed. I don't think I'm going to be able to mock this. Ooh. Three? Napalm was asking what's the POC for. So our core application is just a desktop application that you can use to do various things on your computer. It's a desktop app. We want to introduce the ability to log into their I don't know how to generalize the terms for this because I don't have general terms. So, like, for example, Epic Games has the ability to log into their application using your Epic login or other third party logins. And in order to do that, when you are in the desktop application, it directs you to a web page that uses the authorization flow. Is that what it's called? The OpenID auth flow? Where, or I don't know if Epic does, but a lot of apps have some sort of auth flow where you log into their actual web page and then there's a callback that happens after the user successfully logs in that notifies your application. This is super duper easy if you have an API on the server that is listening for that callback. And then you get that callback and you route to it. And then you do stuff on your server to get the token, to do the next part of the auth flow, which is they give you a code. You send your code to an API with your secret and say, give me a token, which is usually a bearer token. And then you can use that bearer token to do all of the rest of your requests for that user session. Oh no, Max is broke. Can I play it for you? Did it not work? Click go. Redeem. There it is. Yeah. So it's out of the box middleware in .NET. Yeah, 1 second, live coding. 1 second. Let me just finish this story, which is not really a story. So they have their own URL that you hit. You provide your client credentials. User goes to that or is presented with that page either in a browser. What I'm just doing right now so that this works is gosh, I want to get through this quickly so that we can do community day. So my current approach is let's use a web browser control in the WPF app and put the URL that the user needs to do for login. I'll listen to the web browser controls route so that when the redirect happens, it'll just show up as the location. But what I think also happens is a post is sent back to me. I don't remember. With the code that I need in order to do a post to their actual authorized endpoint so that I can get back the token. And that part's easy because that's just a HTTP client post request. And then I can deserialize the response from that request to whatever object I want that has the fields that they give me. Yeah, too bad I'm not using Azure AD. So it's their own it's almost like an SSO. They have SSO capabilities, but like all of their apps use the same service, login service. So think about it like you log into it and then you get access to the user's profile, to warranty information, to the names of all of the devices on their account and profile. So that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to do. So the custom protocol is so that I can send, launch their browser to the website endpoint so that if they already have an existing login session, it'll use their browser's cache and cookies and everything like that to see that they're already logged in on some other app. And then that will give me the token that I need. But again, they need a redirect URI, and that URI needs to be a valid client URI, which for us would be either an API endpoint that we have access to or a protocol. So in this case, it is our custom protocol for our application, // whatever route I want to give it. And then my WPF app will get that because it's running. Or if it's not running, it'll launch it because the custom protocol is supposed to launch the app itself. And then it'll receive the URL parameters on startup. And yeah, I'm going to have to figure out if the app is already running, is it going to try to launch a new instance or is it going to attach the existing instance and then I'll get that? Oh, it's going to be so much fun. So anyway, what I'm thinking, what I'm hoping the answer is, and then again, as soon as I try this once and only once, I will start the actual community day call. But if I point this thing to the executable relative to the UWP app, that it's going to put in the absolute path in my configuration. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. Copy full path. So actually, you know what? Let's start with full path. And now it says, you can't do that. If you completed executable, you must also complete the entry point field. Let's just do main window.xaml. Although that's more like start page. Wait, where are you still X? Executable must not contain the character colon. Try using a relative path. I don't have a, oh, okay, C:\\. All right, so yes, let's do relative path. From here, we can go up one level, which will take us to where the rest of the projects are. And then console, and then, yeah, that should just be it. What are you angry about still? Executables contains use a path that do not end with dot. Okay, so never mind. Oh no, have a fun meeting. That's going to take too much effort, and we are itching to get started with Community Day. So hello, today is Community Day here on this channel. I am going to open up Discord for myself. Oh man, and I was starting to respond to you, Mojo, but I never hit enter. I'll give you more information than what I'm about to send you, but yeah, we'll talk more after the stream. Okay, so all the way down here in Stream Room. All right, are you ready, Peter? Let me make sure that my audio settings are set up correctly, that I have my virtual camera turned on. And I know I've missed your messages. I'm getting there, Max. Let me just get everything started. And then I will go back through all of the chizat. Chizat. Okay, so he's ready. Bringing you in. Start my camera. And now you should be able to see me with the mic check. Mic is checked. Okay, so before panties get in a twist, up here in chat, Napalm says all out of box middleware and .NET. Yes, so I'm hoping to find something that might help me with that. Started to learn something new, says Max. Guess what? It has trap in its name. When I think of trap, I think of something else. So, yeah. And then like Peter told us, what's up? That brings back memories, but like commercials from ages before. Giving you PTSD. Before electricity even. What else is on here? Meeting time. All right, cool. So we're supposed to guess what Max means by he's been learning something to do with trap in it. Do you have any idea? Purple dragon, sorry. Emperor trap. So there's your before electricity also. Um, TV worked differently back in the day. Regis and Kathy back before it was Regis and Phil something, but Regis and Kathy Lee. It's a trap. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no, it's gonna take some time to figure it out because like this is not doing anything that I was expecting it to. It's like use a relative path, and I'm like, I am. Then it's like don't use periods. Yes, exactly. So it's a, but it's in the project folder of the UWP app, and it must not begin or end with the. So it's definitely got to be in the UWP app only, is what it's trying to tell me. Wow. Nice. Good clues, Max. And then you accidentally said the right framework. Mad Libs. Ooh. We well on Irish John's channel. Irish John? No. Thindle's channel. On Thindle's channel, we called him Duke of Soft. Duke of Soft. But this is how it starts. Take your shoes off in the back of my. Mm. Yeah, he's an awesome person. Very puka. But yeah, Max is wondering what we think about Bootstrap. So CSS frameworks to me are great for putting things together very quickly. However, when it comes down to needing to fully customize an app to fit the brand of whoever, sometimes rolling your own CSS works better than trying to fight with the existing CSS styles of Bootstrap. Although lately I have been trying to keep Bootstrap in the app and then just name my CSS stuff different enough so that they don't conflict. And then I don't have too many issues. Jugosoft says, I fight Bootstrap daily. But it's just really hard to override specific rules, CSS rules in 1Z, 2Z cases, in my opinion. Laptops, desktops, all in one, everything. Mhm. I was waving to Solo. Hello, Solo. So a couple of quick shout outs. Who came in? Mila came in not too long ago. Mila Mori underscore games now, which I think he used to be Mila underscore Mori games at one point. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, she is learning to code through learning Unity, which is awesome. Doing a great job with that. She streams on occasion. And then Solo Solipsist is doing AR and VR and just any kind of virtual technology related things. It is awesome to watch, awesome to like. I wish I could participate more, but I'm usually in the midst of working and doing a lot of stuff. Yes, if you couldn't tell, you are all awesome people. Every single one of you. There's even your eyes that you can tell it. Oh my gosh. So in the end, my project manager said that I should be creating my POC in UWP, even though the app that I'm putting it in is a WPF app. I don't know what to do. Okay, Max. Oh, Mojo said, I like isolating CSS to components. So I do too for the most part. But again, like I think that I was using it wrong personally. Isolated CSS. You should, and I say should with a grain of salt because it doesn't mean that you have to. I believe that the right approach is what I mean to say. Write general CSS styles that apply to everything. And then when you have customizations that are specific to components, that's when you put isolated CSS in those components. Otherwise, you run into consistency and maintenance issues, in my opinion. And so I've been just about for every component. This is a one of the apps that I was working on for the people that I used to work with. Um, UI, UI, UI. Is it this one? It's got to be this one. I'm not up to date. Okay. Anyway, so I have my root styles that define all of my colors and font size and everything, CSS variables, and then I have my general styles that apply to everything. Things for buttons, things for modals that apply to everything again. But then when you go down to the actual components themselves, then I have isolated CSS somewhere in my latest version of it, which I don't currently have. Oh yeah. And I think they have a different name, but I've always heard them called CSS variables. Yeah, and I'll show you how to use them. But these here are the Sass variables. So these are, yeah. So here's regular, again, CSS variable might not be the right term, but that's what I've always heard these called. The cool thing about these is you can have default values. So let's say that if the user that is using my component library specify, or my CSS library in this case, specified a variable called bgdark, then we'll use bgdark. Otherwise, we'll default to this as the color for it, which I love. So that was really cool. So then when you're going to use it, oh yeah, Kevin Powell. Yeah. Peoples. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Understood. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it a lot. But real quick though, so the thing that I to continue the topic on web compile or on compile SAS compilers, for example, like I don't think browsers currently natively support SAS, being able to parse SAS, because there's like SAS and less, and there might even be other syntax for it. So when I make my projects and I use SAS for my CSS because I don't believe in doing it any other way, um, I either need to include the Microsoft, I don't know where it is, the build thing for SAS NuGet package, which means that on every build, it's going to recompile all of your CSS, which means delete the CSS, recompile your SAS, and then create new CSS files, which in source control says these files have been modified, even though they haven't. The contents are exactly the same, which they're getting annoyed by, or have to tell everyone when you are cloning the project, make sure to add the web compiler Visual Studio extension, or something that can compile SAS for you. It doesn't have to be a web compiler, but that's the one that I use. And it's just annoying because it's like there's this really great way to write CSS that makes perfect sense to me, and we have to do extra stuff. I don't want to have to do extra stuff. I just want people to clone the project and go. Okay, sorry. Welcome, Tyron. I'm glad you enjoyed your commercial. Yeah. But Mojo wants to talk about Tailwind. I know nothing about Tailwind, so yeah. Only if you include WordPress. Okay, so OAuth. I do like this flow. What I don't like is that it's only a spec and not any information on how to implement in a typical situation. I've been doing lots of research for trying to figure out in a WPF app where your authorization step is open a browser, have the user log into a website, and then that website does a redirect back to somewhere. What do most people use, especially in a WPF app? Yes, exactly. Mhm. Uh-huh. Right. Right. hmm Yeah, but that's why, like, I'm trying to use this custom protocol thing because if you go into a browser and you type in that custom protocol, then it'll launch the app. So here is an example. So if you do my custom, what did I call it? Is it currently registered? Hi. Pasta. So yeah, so this is where it's like I recognize that protocol that you just typed as being from this application because that's what's registered. And so I get it. That just worked. That's the first time that has worked. Well, there you go. So what usually happens with OAuth type systems is the service that you're trying to do your authentication from and authorization, I guess. They have a system where you input these are the allowed redirects so that if an application does an auth request and it sends you here's the redirect that you're sending it to the right place because you don't want to give that code to anyone else that would then turn around and get the token. And so that code for our app for their authentication stuff has to be either a custom protocol or a valid HTTPS endpoint and not localhost. You can't use localhost. Even though these are desktop apps, I don't have a web server that's listening. The app is running on localhost 0000. No port. But since this worked, I think I might be able to do it. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. So the app that our work product, as part of the APPX install, since it has to be run in admin, will do the registration of the protocol. It's just that for whatever reason, when I use it on those computers, it launches without prompting me for which app to open with. Right. Yep. Oops. But I mean, there's no other way to tell your app on that computer to start from a web browser, and the login process happens in a browser. Yes, yes, exactly. Hmm? except we get flagged by cybersecurity. Right. That an option, guys? No, no, no. Yeah, they do have federated SAML or federated sign-on, so they have SSO, but we can't use it. I don't know why. They have implicit flow, password flow, and then the one that I think we're using is client credentials. Oh, that's machine to machine only. Okay, so we're using authorization code. My bad. Yeah. PKC. Private key. Most likely. So the flow is user clicks on the little sign in button in the desktop app. It opens a browser, takes them to the sign in page provided by this other team. They sign in, that page redirects to another URL with the authorization code. We take that code from the app, do a HTTP request using a HTTP client, that's a post, to their server, to their API with our client secret and everything. They give us back the bearer token. I mean, I'm looking at a diagram right now. Trying to find the one that they pointed to that's in the actual OIDC docs. Yeah. Well, one I wouldn't even be able to reveal because I'm not the one that created the system that we're logging into. Yeah, right. Oh, here it is. Yep. And so this is what they direct. One of the things that they direct us to that's like, um, wait, where are we starting? You would think you start up here, but you're actually down here in the client. And so it goes here. Yeah, it splits your request into A and B, and then B gets split to go to the authorization server and the resource owner, whatever that means. Um, and then we get the response C back, which comes down. And then we go D, which we get the authorization code. We do an API request to the authorization server. That API response gives us our actual bearer token. And I know that it's in bearer format. So, yeah. But this is exactly what their diagram looks like, but with, stick figures and computers. Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense to me because what you can encrypt is the body of a HTTP request. So we can send you the authorization code in a GET just fine. But when you're doing your post back to the API server, you're providing your client credentials that say, I am allowed to use this authorization code to request an access token. And then it gives you the access token back in body. Right. Yeah, so this authorization code here will expire in like 5 minutes. Yeah. The secret is a magic here. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I have no idea where I'm going to store the client secret in a WPF app, which is, I can't. Well, like we don't have Azure. Yeah, no. Yeah. So, yeah, like right now, I'm obviously doing secrets in my WPF so that in dev, I'm not pushing the client secret to GitHub, even though it's GitHub Enterprise. Still not doing that. So I have secrets set up in my WPF app. It knows how to read app settings.json as well as secrets.json. But when I'm going to publish the app, where do I put it? Like I know about Key Vault, I know about secrets in AWS and how we can retrieve it that way, but I have no way to get it for this app. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm wanting to avoid, but I have nowhere to put the secret for this part of the request right here. Exactly. But in that case, you typically have an API that will receive the redirect. And that's running on a server. Yeah. Yep. And Tyron says you can't solve this problem without at least a server. Something that will provide the secret at runtime as an encrypted body HTTP response. But we can't. Yep, exactly, Tyron. Exactly. So then if the client is, or if the user is savvy enough, they can just toss in Fiddler, tell it to unencrypt HTTP responses, and then they can just pull the secret out that way. But again, that would be a client actor. But this is a public application that anyone could use. So even bad actors. Say again? Hey, Jamie. Thank you. Thank you for the welcome to the stream. But anyway, go ahead. And then that'll make it true. Correct. Yes. Although they do allow implicit flow, but it's on a very, very limited basis. Yeah. Like what I was hoping, what I was hoping is our application has a certificate. It's signed. Is there a way for us to provide the credentials from that signed certificate in PKI type fashion to the server? Yes, it does expire on occasion. And all the exchanges get and the secret in the URL. Hmm, that's a tough one. If the cert is in the box, then I can use your cert too. Gosh. Like, I mean, I just need something for the server to know that it is the app that is making the request, that it is a valid application and not some random actor. Right. Oh, yeah, don't lose your train of thought just because I'm doing stuff on screen. I hope it's not distracting. Oh, good, good. Also true though, I can catch the bearer token you send back. Yeah, again, if you're using Fiddler and you are the authorized user of that machine. True. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean cube cuddle? Was there an actual question in that? Or was that just the statement of their flow? Right. Capital T. And it has to be typed on a mechanical keyboard. So Solus Ellipsis is from Canada. So that's why. Like all of Canada. Me? I was told this yesterday. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. And so I do like that. And I think that that's a great approach for a lot of tools that require like secure stuff, I guess, and is more has more sensitive information. But this is a gosh, how much can I've already said this before. This is a diagnostics application that you run on your computer from the manufacturer. And it'll test all of your hardware for you, tell you if there's any problems. And so if you're logging into it, then the main reason that you are is to have your warranty status updated or your other devices listed that you can manage within the app, or your profile information, or name your computer something fancy so that when you log into this or when you open this app, your computer name is whatever you called it as a friendly name, which we still do locally, but it actually uploads to this service. So you think about asking a user for two-factor authentication where you have to use a OTP. It's kind of like, do they really want to go through that? Yeah. So am I not clipping at all on Discord? I'll giggle quieter. Like, when by clip, do you mean that my audio is cutting out, or do you mean that it's peaking and it's going? Because that's probably the mic. I'll turn my gain down directly on the mic. See if that helps. Maybe a little too low. The second option. There, I made a really loud noise. Menasai. It was only 1 hour. Or not even. 45 minutes. So custom protocols. No, I'm kidding. I do have another thing that came up, and I don't know why, but like taking showers obviously makes you start thinking about random weird things or sing. And it's kind of like dream state too, because I'll have this long conversation with my team about this topic. And the one that came up earlier was we're we're kind of being pressured to only do features. We don't have time and money budgeted to implement proper testing. And yet we had an issue where our most recent build had a showstopper, essentially. So on certain machines, you'd run this test and it would fail in a way that canceled any other test that was scheduled to run. And they were like, how did this get through? How did we not catch this before releasing? And we're like, we have one person on our QA, and any change that we make, you need to be able to test the entire gambit of the application because this one change might affect so many places, right? So I was going through this conversation in my head with them where I'm like, it's like you're asking a mechanic to fix a 30-year-old car with just a screwdriver and any parts that fall off of the car. It's like, stop limiting us. Let us write our automated tests. The app will be better. Yeah, we're already there. Yeah. We are there. Like we're in a reactive state where any issues that come up, we're supposed to do those, but also get these features in. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, but there was so much to that analogy. I kept expanding it in my head, and it's probably a TED talk by now. Like, hey, we can afford a socket wrench, but not all of the different attachments to that socket wrench. You'll have to make your own attachments. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And these guys have not. I mean, they're definitely a great team, and they're appreciative, but then they come back on us with double the force when a user or we get many reports. about app crashes that we didn't catch. Or like one of the big ones was like there is one text on one screen that no one ever goes to, even though you have an app that reaches everyone in the world, someone's going to go to it, that is not translated in this one language. And but not even that. It's we wouldn't have noticed it because we don't change our app to every single language after every single change that we make. Yeah, and it's like we have one QA person and 3 developers doing features. Bottleneck? Good grief. Uh, accessibility. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yep. So true. Mhm. Oh, this thing? Um, oh my gosh, package.app manifest. Yeah, what I was thinking of doing is just dumping um the this thingy into, I don't know, bin somewhere, but not in the debug folder. And then pointing this thing to that relative path. Yeah, that was the thing that it said you can't end a folder with a dot. Oh no. So then I'm like, let's start from the very base root, whatever that may be. And it's like, you can't start with slash. So it's, if you're going to use a relative path, it's relative to this thingy. And then of course, absolute path, you can't have a colon. It's like, what? What? So that's fine though, because we did see that the that this one worked. Are you actually going to launch if I do it this way though? It doesn't work when I use start, but it does work when I typed it in the browser. This thingy here, yeah, this is essentially PowerShell. But you can write, yeah, you can do that in command prompt or PowerShell. Proof? Proof? Start some cust prot. Yeah. Mm. Only supports implicit. Okay, ciao. And I don't think so, is my answer. Oh, he's already gone. But anyway, I don't think so. To the question of Blazor WASM only supports implicit flow. Yeah. Yeah. Like my Blazor bot is Blazor server. Dang it. Twitch bot is Blazor server. Is it? Anyway, I could. I can't remember. I think my Twitch bot is Blazor WASM with my own hosted API. I'm just trying to remember how it's possible that I have the full app running as a daemon. Twitch bot, where are you? It's called Automated Roam Spot. Oh. And now let me show you all of my secrets. What about your life? Did you say FML? Nice. I I don't mean to confuse Irish John, but I tend to do it pretty often. Like I was in the middle of doing some really hard brain work on the project and stuff. And then he was messing with his audio so that he could play Finite's clip from the Twitters, whatever that is. And then he forgot to turn it back down before turning his music back on. And I have these on, and it was super loud and it interrupted my thought for a second. And there was just so much other stuff going on that was just like emails every 2 minutes and just tons of other garbage that was happening yesterday. And the only thing that I could type in chat was deep sigh because I had to take a very, very big breath and then just sigh it out. And just it was just like deep sigh. What are you sighing deeply for? I couldn't even explain it because I'm like, I'm still in the middle of typing this over here on this screen. Can't type now. Oh man. Anyway. Oh, Bardaki. That's fun. Every raider. So hi Bardaki, you've joined us on a community day where we have anyone from the community that feels like it hop into Discord and jump into a voice channel where you can converse with us using your lovely voice. Just be aware that all of my videos get posted to YouTube after the stream, so your voice will be recorded as well. Actually, will it? I didn't actually check my audio settings today. Oh no.
Oh, what?
Channel 2 is not turned on for output.
Are we lost from the recording? That's for the best.
Gosh.
It's for the best. We were talking about OAuth. The less spoken about OAuth, the better, right?
I guess. Now they just have my half of the conversation, my third of the conversation. Anyway, the audio is now being output, just so you know, and your voice will be in the recording from this point on. Even the music was like, it's weird though, because the last 3 streams I had been checking to make sure that the audio settings are set to output everything. And then today I didn't because I just got off another call with the PM about this whole protocol thing, and I didn't check my settings.
I forgive you.
I don't. Anyway, let's check out a clip from Bardaki. If you guys don't know Bardaki, he is a fantastic game developer that is just he's remaking this War of Mine. No, I keep forgetting what the actual name of your game is called. War is Hell? I Hate War? Stifu? Let's check out a clip.
Yeah, I assume by now that's settled to that. And also, Sig mode is over now. Thank you, BitGamey. Right. I hope this fucking works now.
And now you're British. Right.
Placement. I please want to see.
There was more. It got cut off after 30 seconds. Right? Anyway, it's called The Unwanted War. It is fun times. It is very fun times over on his stream. So definitely check him out if you have the chance. Really cool guy. Thank you so much for the raid. I would have been lurking on your channel had I had my Twitch window open to show me who is currently live. But I was talking with my project manager just before the stream since 9:30 my time, which is now 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours almost, until the stream started. Bet.
I'm just here doing work. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I
dare.
cannot give you full attention.
How dare. That's okay. I was trying to start working on the next part of my proof of concept, except doing it here. And I need to mock the endpoint that I was going to, or that I need to access in order to get my OAuth stuff. But while I'm here, so the question was, does WASM support only implicit flow? And I don't 100% remember implicit flow, what that looks like, but I do have a thing here. So implicit flow is when you send the token. No, you get the token. Whoa, you get the token back in a get redirect in the route string. And something about key value pairs and a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to show. Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Bardaki. Again, feel free. Lurk away if you want. No obligations. I was just showing here that you could set up your WASM login stuff to use the same authorization code flow. You just tell your HTTP client, here is your bearer token that you add to the header, to the authorization header, but you do everything else yourself manually, where you call the API, get with your client ID, not your client secret, but your client ID. And then on the server, on an API server, that's where you do your login stuff that does the client secret, authorize, create the access code, send the access code back. You receive that access code in your WASM app, probably through localhost or something. And then you do a server-side request that gets the actual bearer token, such as in this one. That's what I was going to mock.
Mocking, because you actually have to be running something. When you say mock, you mean?
Mock the service, mock the login service.
So, okay.
So like, for example, here is an API controller. And its route by default is going to be API/controller. So API/OIDC in this case. It's going to be a controller base. Cool. The route that I'm going to mock is public. Oh, I need some kind of credentials.
Project.
Yeah, we'll just do string for now. It's only going to send back the authorization code. I don't like that. And we'll call this authorize, where we take in string client ID, string redirect URI. Yeah. And then usually
you can
scope.
ignore the rest of it, right? If
Yeah.
this is mock, you can just
Exactly.
let a lot of stuff fall to the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. But normally you would do scope and then state. So like I learned about state yesterday, what that actually does. So I knew about it from making the Twitch API, but state is essentially like if you are an anonymous user on the site and you've started a session and then you log in, state is the thing that helps the application to associate your login with your current anonymous session.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
That was really cool.
And state is a ASP.NET state. That's what you're talking about.
No, actually, it is a random string. that you can choose to specify as part of your request. So you generate it on the client, you maintain it on the client, and you associate it with that user session.
Okay. I had no idea. All right.
I always thought that it was just a way to keep the session the same when you are doing stuff with the API specifically, but yeah. And then we'll return. For now, we'll make the authorized code a base 64. Base 64 encoded GUID.
Thumbs up emoji. Oh, okay.
Thumbs up emoji, exactly.
Because base 64, it'll be fine.
And Dukasoft knew that. What? Convert to base 64 string. Encoder. Encoding. Encode. Does anyone remember where it comes from? Encoding.utf8 get bytes from GUID.new GUID. I'm just making this up as I go, by the way, off of things that I vaguely remember doing yesterday. Something, because I had to encode a base 64 string. Okay, so that's going to be what we send back as our code, as our temporary code. I honestly don't know how codes that look like this are generated.
Random number and letter generator? That's what I'm thinking.
Is it? Is it just as simple as that?
Letters and numbers. It's like base 64, but just a slightly fewer, what is it?
I guess it might have the equal on it. What's %3D?
That's a URL encoded thing.
Yeah, but I mean, which character is it encoded? URL decode. Decode for me %3D.
It's equal, sure enough.
Yeah, equal. Okay, so it is probably just a base 64 or base something encoded.
Okay.
Something or other. Huh. Okay, so it's going to return this. And actually what it's supposed to do is return redirect to... Oh my gosh, I don't know how to use redirects in APIs.
You can't return a string. You have to return a I action result or something to that.
Right, that sounds right.
And then you have to say you can say return OK string or...
Which this is not an API controller. Because this is the actual login page that I was trying to do. What am I thinking?
If this is is this the page? Well, yeah. There's a few things. So,
gosh.
Yeah.
I can't use just an API. Child solo subsist. And the reason that I can't use just an API is because I actually need to see what it looks like when I open the browser to the login page, perform the login on the login page, and have it redirect to the custom protocol. Son of a... Okay.
How about return like hard code this thing? You don't have to render a page. You can Oh, I guess you do. I don't know, man. Yeah, you need this thing to load
because it
in
needs
the
to open in the browser. But if I still I don't actually. If I open the browser to this get address, then it would normally give me back the JSON if it was an API or whatever format my action returns. And in this case, I should be able to redirect to
try your protocol. Yeah.
Redirect URI, and then it would most likely look like auth underscore code. I don't know. Equals the stuff that I just deleted.
You're trying to combine the two things. All right, undo to the point where I can copy it to the clipboard. Okay, redo. Okay, now
Yeah,
paste it.
exactly.
I think I saw that was the intent, what you were doing.
That's
Looked
exactly
like
what
madness.
happened. Var who cares equals client ID. Why not? Or no, we can use the client ID. I'm gonna use the client ID. Dang it. We're going to combine
Make
the
it the
client
password.
ID with the GUID.
Your client ID is your token every time.
Oh,
Just
gosh.
log in. As long as you have the client ID, you're good. Yep.
We'll just send you back your client ID. The end. Okay, so this is going to do the thing that I want it to do, and then I need a post. I may as well use the same endpoint. And this one is going to return the object that's going to have the bearer token. So that's usually an object that has the expiry, the token type, whether it's bearer or basic or whatever. And I don't know if refresh tokens are typically sent with that, but I'll have to figure out how refresh tokens work. Oh, and then the scope that it's available for. So let me create a quick object. I'm not even going to bother putting it in a shared library that other things need access to.
But you're returning it over JSON, so it's like, it's, yeah.
Authorization response. So this is going to have those things that I said. I put a CTOR. We don't need CTORs. That was wrong. String required. What did I say? The access token. I'm just reading it off the screen over here now. Access token.
Go ahead.
The scope.
So out of touch. I've never used the required keyword. Required.
So required means when you are declaring this object, you must initialize these properties.
Man, that is so beautiful. Oh, they
Or
solved
it must
it.
be done in the constructor.
Yeah, they solved it.
Solved what?
The requirement thing. Like that's
Oh, as opposed to
just having like, yeah, that, like that's awful because you don't really, anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I like record types, the ones where they had the constructor
yeah.
only, but then those don't play well with your JSON serializers.
Right.
So,
exactly.
So you end up
I was so
not
sad
using
about
them.
that.
So, but I really love that. But this, if this works, great. This is great too.
Okay, type. And actually, this one is just going to be get only anyway.
Oh, okay.
So all of our token types are going to be bearer, no matter what. Okay, so we're going to send back a new one of these with our this task of, well, again, we are mocking it, so we don't need all of these special. Dang it. Why are you even expanded? Default bang gets boring. The other one that I like using lately, didn't I just do that? Is allow null. If I'm going to have equals default bang anyway, I'm just going to do allow null because I know that that thing is going to have it's going to get set at some point in time. What are you angry about? This project is targeting Net 7 Windows, and this project is not. New project. Where's my shared or my class library? PucaSoft. For real shared. Okay. You go in here. Delete. Reference. Stop referencing. Update namespace. The end. Why didn't you update the namespace? It's not like adding the... Wait, what? Nothing is working.
There's some namespace thing. All right. Dump that class in the same file or I don't know. Or here, just make an anonymous object. Return an anonymous object.
I don't know how to do that. I know how to return a tuple. We could do that.
Just return public object. Oh, well, whatever. You already have defined the class. Just wait. All right, I will help you with this. All right.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah. I know your dirty hack. I got you. Tell me.
Okay. No. Let's look at this class. What is it? What is the name of the class you created?
Authorization response.
Can we look at the C# file? Okay. Authorization response. Can you type the entire namespace and then the class name?
Yes.
In the other class. Yeah.
Absolutely will. PucaSoft dot shared for real shared.
So,
I mean, let me do this.
Oh, okay.
So that we have something.
You need a class. That's a response, yes, right. And then a name. Yeah. The letter A. Yeah.
But this one is going to have the string access code only.
Oh, you did PucaSoft. That's great. It's happening. It's happening. All right. So this is what it's happening. This is your life now. All right. So we just have to reference the project, whatever. Right? Reference the project.
I'm doing like 60 different ways. Delete, right click, add project reference, real shared, save.
Of course. Whatever you did there was cursed, forbidden. And that's not forbidden. So there you go. Okay.
Can you fill this in for me, please? Like all of it, not just that one thing? No?
Are you asking me?
No,
I'll try my best.
I was telling...
Right, I give up. Don't worry, I gave up. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go.
Although...
The bearer is implicit.
This is something more like, user
scope,
profile, read. Like, I think the Twitch ones have colons in it or something.
Yeah, it's just a string. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just, who cares?
It might be, is it scope or scopes plural? Or are they
It is
separated?
scopes.
Is it a single?
It is scopes.
Okay. See.
All right. Okay.
There's the productivity. I assume you renamed the actual property on the actual thing.
Control R.
So much productivity.
Which we learned in Bald Bearded Builder's stream yesterday that it actually does work for even WPF namespaces. If you rename the class using the rename refactor tool, it will also rename the class up here or the namespace or whatever else you're trying to rename. That was cool to see.
Well, it makes it less awful.
Makes it less awful.
There you go.
I don't know. Oh, man. The other thing is I don't have my app using Blazor, which is fine. That should be fine, right? So let's go to Dell. Let's go to the WPF project because I know WPF more than UWP, even though they're kind of similar-ish, I think. So let's put a button on here. It says login. And you're gonna do, my stomach just made a noise. I don't know if you heard that.
I did not. Should I say I did? I definitely heard it. You are dying. You are dying right now.
It went button click. Login button click. All right, so what this is going to do is going to start a process. Does anyone know how to do this? Start a browser by using process.startProcess.
Oh no. Are you really? Okay. There is a shell execute, right?
Is that what
You
it
could
is?
do it. Shell execute. See, this is my old VBA. It was there's a native Win32 thing called shell execute. If you're trying to launch
but then I would
a
have
URL,
to, yeah, then I would have to, I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Do you know how to add the Win32 reference? DLL?
I'm gonna Google how to shell execute from .NET because
I'm pretty sure it's
they're
just
gonna have it.
cmd/r and then the URL, right?
Oh no, it is system diagnostics process start. Oh no, you got it. Oh, you can. Okay. I like this one. All right.
Okay.
I've searched for about 10 seconds, so this is some pretty heavy research. I like that answer. You do what you were doing.
Oh, Explorer and then the path. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of, not using command line. Duh.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And that gets it done. That's equally okay.
I have no idea what our API is running on. I think someone once told me crack, but nice. I don't believe them.
Only some of the time.
Throw new, not implemented Pucasoft.
Yeah, you could. This is going to spread. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be.
You have Peter to thank.
Yeah.
Okay, we're running on 7196.
All right, I do have to check on something from work. I've been secretly looking at various things on fire. I will not give any details. In summary, things break from time to time, and I need to focus. So this has been real. This is a good look. I did 2 seconds of helping. I feel amazing. You know what I'm saying? I helped for at least 2 seconds. So I feel the job here is done.
Well, I do appreciate you being on the call for as long as you were. It's really, really fun. It's always fun.
This was my lunch. All right. Fun times. Check you later. Later.
Chickens laters. And I just got an email from my work saying, here are some UI updates that we would like to implement. Even though there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. Anyway, hi Disco. I don't know if you said stuff earlier and I just missed it, but hello. I hope you're doing well. I'm just going to see if this button works right off the bat to open the endpoint. Oh, I am missing the redirect URI. So I have this incorrect. So client ID equals this and redirect. Did I call it redirect URL or redirect URI? Redirect URI. Equals, and then this needs to be URL. What is it called? URL helper. Which is the one that you get for free? Web utility. I think web utility. 50 out of 50, I can't type. Oh, legitimately, safe assumption, at least 50-50 chance it's my bad. And also 50-50 chance I can't type. Okay, we're gonna try using web utility to see if it has a URL encode. Perfect. And the thing that we are URL encoding is our redirect URL, which is my custom this whole thing. You gotta actually put it in a string though, buddy. Okay. So we have two things to check. Will this actually launch a browser and open to this URL? And when we go to that URL, will the API redirect us to the custom protocol with the access code in the string, the URL? This is kind of difficult because I launched the API using the debug. So let's try to launch the API using command line. Don't hit watch. So that I can launch the WPF app using debug. There is our API running, and here is our app running. So I hit login. It takes me to browser. It didn't take me to browser. It took me to Windows Explorer instead of the browser. I think that's maybe why we ended up using process.start for launching web pages. Can't think of what the name of not you. Does anyone remember what I called our URL helper for us to have a way to safely open URLs that are on a whitelist? I'm waiting for someone to answer me. Oh, it's called this. And then if I do this, then start browser method is a task. We're not going to do it as a task. We're just going to do it as the actual method. I wonder if this kind of copy works. No return, whatever. Gimme. Okay. No. Copy to my clipboard, dang it. Copy. Impasta. Why isn't it copying to my clipboard? Looks like we're typing it. Okay, so var p equals process.start new process start info. EMD. And I think these are extra parameters, arguments. So slash C start quotation mark Why is there a space? Oh, quotation mark, quotation mark, quotation mark, the URL. I can't see anything. I don't know where my mouse is. Are you a XAML pro, or do you like C# more in Maui? And hi, I prefer Blazor. So I prefer doing my UI in Blazor. I prefer doing my backend logic in just plain old C#. Okay, quotation mark, URL, quotation mark, close quotation mark. This is our new. Give me 1 second so that I can make sure that I am. Oh my gosh, I can't see anything. I have this too big. Like my screen is usually about like this font size so that I can see more butts. Ooh, Blazor got no, not a god. I do what I can. I blame my tendinitis, inflammation, or whatever it's called in English. Tendinitis. I didn't know that it was tendon. I thought it was tendon. But anyway, tendinitis, inflammation. Sometimes it can be confused with arthritis. CMD, comma, /C start, quotation mark, space, quotation mark, curly brace, URL, quotation mark, close parentheses. What are you angry about? Expecting another? Oh, process start. Because we have create no window true. Okay, so there's our process for launching a browser from a desktop app. I don't know what we're going to do with P at the end here, but we're just going to run it and see what happens. So that should have hot reloaded. Irish Town Games is doing a charity stream with Arduino at 1900, which is in about 30 minutes, 1900 UTC, which is awesome. So the reason that I'm talking, or not talking so fast, I'm making it seem like I'm trying to go fast is because we have 6 minutes left in the stream and it's still community day. So I didn't want to ignore you guys or anything. So definitely let me know if there's anything that you want to talk about for the next 6 minutes. I am going to try to push this button, get a browser to launch. Here is my API endpoint. And it says localhost refused the connection, and that's probably a CORS issue. Because it is not allowing my app. So my app needs to be registered with my API. But instead, what I'm going to do, I think, is configure the API. If I remember how to do this without needing to look it up and spend the last 6 minutes just trying to figure out how to enable CORS. In app, under authorization, enable CORS. It is not in app, it is in builder.services. Enable CORS. No, I don't remember how to do CORS. Bard will tell me. I don't even need to Google. I'll just use Bard. How do I enable CORS and CORS in a .NET Core API project? Services.add CORS. I really thought it was enable CORS. Builder services add cores. Options.allow. Oh. No, stop it, phone. Allow all options.allow any origins. Oh, because there is no curly brace. Wait, what? Are you hallucinating? I think it might be hallucinating. My copy is not copying to clipboard. There's only one overload, and that overload is setup action. So not allow all. Default policy name, add policy. Nope. I need to use the actual interwebs to figure out how to do that last part. But dang it, we did get the app to launch a browser, and the only thing that I wanted to see was the... Oh, wait. I think there's one more way. OIDC controller. Allow origin cores. What is the cores attribute? What is the cores attribute for a .NET Core API controller? Allow Why are these pictures? Yeah, this is what I was trying to do. Oh, okay. I was just missing this part. Okay, so never mind. You could put it on an attribute on the route and it would work, but I still think you need to configure cores here regardless. And there we go. My policy. Okay, and with origins star with methods get and post, at least get. And then you should have me trying to whatever. You need to stop running so that I can get to my PowerShell rebuild. Oh, this is gonna work. It's gonna work. And Solo Solipsis started streaming, so we are gonna head on over to his stream as soon as we try this button one more time. Because again, what we want to see is when I click this button, it opens the browser to my API. My API redirects to my custom protocol and then launches the console version of my app, unless it's still blocked because of cores. But it shouldn't be blocked because of cores because I'm not doing a HTTP request. Oh, I'm not using HTTPS. We're using HTTP. Oh my goodness. What's wrong with this kid? HTTP port 5261. Okay. Try again. Go. And it still says can't. HTTP localhost 5261 OAuth/API/OAuth. Oh my gosh, if this kid just knew what he was doing, he would get it right the first time. Why do I have to rush? Still no. Swagger says API OIDC authorize is a get. Because I have OAuth. Oh, quick, rewind time. Hot reload, everybody. Okay, so then there it goes. We got to the API endpoint. It's doing a redirect. We click on the button, and then it launched my console app. So there is a way for me to get the starting arguments. So it's pretty much program CS. Get all of the args and then parse the args to find out what we got as far as our route is concerned. Or maybe, I don't know that for sure. But we just proved that we can tell the browser to redirect to my custom protocol in the browser, and it will launch the application, whether it's a new one every time or not. It most likely is a new one, and then I'll have to say, can we find an existing instance of the app running? If so, do stuff with that app. If and then close this instance. If not, then launch the app fully and then process the route, the redirect URL that we get passed in. Oh my goodness. That's plenty for today. Thank you all for a wonderful community day. Like, the majority of the community day was fun, even though you're not going to hear it on the recording, which is just more reason to, you know, hang out on the actual stream when we have it, if you're available to. I'll do my best to make sure that I don't mess up and forget to turn on the audio output, but it's for the best, says LiveCoding. Yeah, definitely hang out with us when we go over to the Irish John when he starts his charity stream with Nerduino, or go to Nerduino stream, whoever, or both. Support them both. Hang out with them, and I will be there lurking. Another QA failure. Boo. No audio is for the best. But anyway, I will be getting back to work and maxing out my microphone's volume as much as I can so that it goes or whatever it's doing to you guys. I'll be back again on Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. This video will be posted to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I officially end the stream. We're going to set up a raid for Solipsist. You saw him earlier. I talked about him. He is working on augmented reality type stuff, virtual reality and augmented reality. So this one needs to be replaced with Solipsist so I can turn the volume on. If you feel like hanging out for that, he is working in Unity using .NET or using C#, but targeting virtual devices like the HoloLens. And currently, I think he has a Quest on his head that has the whole pass-through AR type thing. Yeah, okay. Hun Solo Solipsist and Dukasoft. I will stop calling you Pukasoft for the rest of the day. No guarantees for what happens after that. Blame Peter. But it just means that you're pure, though, he said. He said it means that you're pure, which means that it's meant in positive love. Oh no, baby rage. You know that you are absolutely the best, so much love to you. You're amazing. I'm so glad you're here. And I would never want to do anything to make you go away, which includes poking at that if it actually does bother you. Okay, that's it. Timer's counting down. Bye.